please, please submit your supplements like 2 days before the college app is actually due. Probably the section you guys have all been waiting for. This is section 9, and it's dealing with acceptances and then dealing with the dumb schools that, don't want you even though you've watched this video and you know what you're doing, otherwise known as rejections. For me, this was the most stressful part of the process. Getting the list to apply to was stressful, and then getting the list down to the one school I actually want to go to was impossible. It really was a heavy burden on my shoulders. I didn't like dealing with it. It gave me a lot of anxiety. I did not think I would be accepted into the number of schools I did. Basically, I just got home from Disneyland and I had all of these acceptances and waitlists and rejections to deal with, and I had no idea. No one had prepared me for this part of the process. I didn't think I probably thought I'd have a handful of schools to apply to. I hadn't toured. I had only toured like 2 of the schools, and I did not think I was going to go to either one of those. So I was just overwhelmed. Sorry, just change the lighting for a second. But anyway, if you get that email or that package from the school and you're accepted, yay! I'm so proud of you. Hopefully this next segment will help you deal with how to deal with that acceptance. You should keep all the documents they sent you, make a little folder for yourself in a box and put that under the school's name, and make an account on their student page and fill out any financial aid they still need from you. And that was one thing I didn't consider, which was financial aid. And then if you are denied, I'm sorry. You can go ahead and cry if you want to, but it's not going to matter that much in the end. Like, it's going to hurt. You can go ahead and listen to like any breakup songs you've listened to before. Like, it's going to hurt you. I built myself up to the point where I thought it wasn't going to hurt me, because basically my mentality for the entire college process was, do not let yourself believe that you'll have anything you want until you actually have it. Like, I was preparing myself for every school, like there was no way they were going to accept me, and that way I just had like such an immense effort into everything. Like, I didn't think I was just going to get anything just based on like a little bit of effort. I really thought like I'd have to give my everything, and even so it wouldn't be enough to get myself accepted. Waitlisted is ouch. And for me, I really think that's a pussy move. Like, I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I really think it's a pussy move. And like, I don't understand why colleges still need to be doing this to the extent that they are. It's a selfish move on the college's part, because it's essentially just so that they make sure they're covered in the event that not all the students that get accepted go to their school, which is obviously the case every time, but sometimes they have extra spots and they want to fill their freshman class, so they'll take off the wait list. But you're stuck in this stupid limbo where you can't. Like, for me, I was waitlisted at my #1 school, which was University of Virginia, and it really, really hurt, because I did not know what to do, and basically the advice that the admissions officer gave was, do not think about us anymore, like, do not consider us a school, just look at all the other acceptances you got, and those are what you're going to be going to, like, don't expect to get taken off the wait list. And I didn't get taken off the wait list, but it was only because, like, well, I didn't expect myself to be taken off the wait list anyway, because out of state is just ridiculous to get into UVA. So it was basically just unrequited love from beginning to end. But yeah, just put those waitlisted schools to the back of your mind and try not to recover them until they let you know if you have been taken off the wait list or if you've been officially denied. Narrowing down the schools is hard AF. So hard. And having gone through it with a couple of friends, I hope I can give you advice that'll be helpful for you. For me, it was ridiculous. So I actually have like a lot of stuff written down for what I want to say about this, because I like journaled a lot during this point, and I journaled a lot about what I was worried about. And my biggest concern, and what was holding me back from really committing to any one school, was that I was scared I wasn't considering a certain school that I got into enough, and if I didn't pursue that school, I'd be missing out on opportunity and regret it. Like, I couldn't tour all the schools I got into. So basically, of those 12, I'll go ahead and tell you, I think I said 11 before. I actually ended up applying to 12. So I'm just going to read to you, because honestly, like, I have no problem with saying like what I applied to. and what ended up happening, and I think it's kind of good just to give you some names of schools that I think are great institutions, and I think everything I applied to is awesome, so if you want to start adding this to your preliminary college list, go ahead. But in alphabetical order, kind of, I applied to Boston College and was accepted. UC Berkeley was accepted. UC Santa Barbara accepted. UC San Diego accepted. UCLA was rejected. Carnegie Mellon I was accepted. Duke I was rejected. Emory I was accepted. Georgetown I was waitlisted, and then I didn't even put my name on the waitlist, so I just was essentially just denied. University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign I was accepted. University of Notre Dame I was accepted. University of Southern California I was accepted. University of Virginia I was waitlisted and then later denied. And then Elon University I was accepted, and Northeastern I was accepted. So I was officially rejected from 2 schools and waitlisted at 2. And the 2 waitlisted schools, I toured 1. So, but those waitlisted schools I essentially did not consider. So then I was left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was left with 10 schools because, as I said before, I was considering all the UCs as 1 for the purposes of applying. But I had 3 UCs I was accepted to, so I could consider 3. So I had 10 schools to think about, and I only toured 2 of them. Of those 10, I ended up choosing Monsters University. Monsters University, we give our heart to you. I'm officially a Trojan, and I know some of you knew this. I was posting about it on Twitter and Tumblr. I am insanely proud, and of those 10, I was talking about, I was scared about regretting my decision. I know I'm right in this. I'm just too pumped. I have a lot of spirit and pride. So I hope you're all excited for this. I'm excited that I was able to share this news. USC is a big school, so if any of you are going next year, definitely hit me up. I'm all for friends. So luckily, I'm not thinking about any of those other 10 schools now because I'm head over heels in love with the University of Southern California. But anyway, back to talking about what you guys should do when you're trying to decide on that one beautiful school. When you're thinking about which colleges, talk to students that go there. Research that program you had looked at to write your supplement. If they admitted you for spring semester only instead of a fall admit, which is normal, that might happen to you, consider that. If they're a quarter system instead of a semester system, consider that. Location's really important. If it's a public school, consider that, and consider how your money is going to be invested that way instead of investing it into a private school. Be really mindful of all these factors, and if you didn't think they would affect you before, just reconsider that. And if you can, visit everywhere you got in. I couldn't, and that just added more stress. I was really looking at, I wanted to tour Boston College and Emory and Carnegie Mellon, but I just couldn't do that on top of, the other schools that I knew I was considering. I was fortunate enough to be able to visit 3 schools. The 3 schools I was able to visit just kind of naturally became my top 3. For all I know, I could be just as in love with Boston College or Emory or Carnegie Mellon, but just by nature of me not being able to visit, I didn't get that experience, but I know I'll get everything I want out of USC. But I did visit Notre Dame and then UC Berkeley and obviously USC. And that process was really helpful. It was expensive because I ended up getting my college decisions came out the Thursday before spring break, and I was in Disneyland, so I couldn't even go the beginning of spring break, so I basically just booked a flight 2 days before I left for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame was the first school I toured, and I set up a tour with them, and they were so welcoming. And they gave me a bag, they gave me a private tour with one student instead of a big group tour. I really got to spend 2 days on that campus. I didn't stay overnight there, but it was April, and it was spring for me, and I'm used to being warm, and it wasn't. It was probably like 50 degrees-ish. It rained a little bit. It wasn't awful. The campus was cool. It's a big Spirit again. The food was really great there. I sat in a couple classes, which was really helpful, and I could have seen myself going there. Like, that was my first school I toured, and I thought, yeah, I could definitely go here, and I would have a good time there. It is Catholic, so, or is it Jesuit? I don't even know. Jesuit, Catholic, I honestly don't know the difference. That was a little bit of a factor for me. But overall, like, it was a school that I liked. But that didn't decide it for me. That didn't decide it right there that I wanted to go to Notre Dame, and that scared me. Sit in on any classes, but I got to go into the business school and have a lot of the professors speak to me, a lot of the students speak to me about their experience. I got some free apparel, so free swag always helps. Got to really experience it through a student ambassador's eyes, and I felt it, like felt that that school was going to give me the opportunities that I wanted, and I felt that that campus was just really welcoming. It was comfortable enough because it's in the same state, but far enough away that it still feels like I'm getting away from my comfort zone. And I will be in the marching band as well, so that was a really good note for me. I visited Berkeley after that because Berkeley was still on the table. USC clearly came out of the front runner and kind of pushed Notre Dame off to the side. But I still wanted to consider Berkeley because Berkeley was in kind of like, when I was applying, I had kind of like a big four in mind. And my big four was, Virginia was my #1 school, but I really did not see myself getting in there just because out of state was impossible. And so it was Virginia, Berkeley, Duke, and USC. And Duke kind of fell through just because I didn't have the business program, but I still just like novelty of, you know, my like sophomore, junior crush on it just kind of kept in the top 4. But Berkeley and USC were both in there, and Berkeley obviously has that prestige to it and has that like everyone, like I think at least most people know UC Berkeley. And when I visited, Berkeley is a really cool town, and actually Monsters University, if you didn't know, is modeled after the Berkeley campus. So, because Pixar is right up in the neck of that woods, and I didn't think I liked East Bay, which is where Berkeley is, if you didn't know, but Berkeley is really nice, has redwoods behind it, the campus is gorgeous, the programs are great, but the business school you cannot get into until your junior year, and even so, there's only about a 50% admit rate, so I wasn't sure that I was going to be in the business program. And USC, I would be in the business program all 4 years, and really experiential learning at USC, whereas in Berkeley it felt like a little more kind of removed, and just the areas people were getting into after those 2 separate business programs at each school were different. And Berkeley just felt, because it was public, it's a lot more fight for yourself, and USC felt a lot more accessible, and like everything was really, they want you to thrive there. Berkeley was kind of fight for yourself, and that teaches you some great lessons, and I definitely could have gone to Berkeley. Yeah, it just, the environment felt really competitive, and like you just had to be on top of your game all the time. And I was like that in high school, and like I didn't think I needed that again. I'd already learned those lessons. So I would rather be top of the pack at USC than bottom of the pack of Berkeley. And that's not going to be the case for either. But touring let me know. Touring gave me that confidence, and it doesn't for everyone. Like my friend Sarah, she toured both of her schools and still was in a dead like stalemate between the two. So touring is really important, but again, like if it doesn't settle it, there are a few more things you want to do. Definitely consider doing a pro-con list. I know I usually don't use pros and cons lists just because like looking at the quantifiable number of pros and cons and like measuring it out like doesn't really help me, and I kind of can keep that stuff in my head and weigh the schools out like pretty easily that way. Talk to your guidance counselor. Talk to the people that really helped you with your essays and wrote your rec letters, and see if they have any advice on, if you tell them about the program, about the campus, about the students, about the area of each school, they can probably tell you like, okay, I can see you more at this school. Honestly, I dwelled, before I visited and even after I visited, I still dwelled on it a hell of a lot, and it was not fun, and I just kept running back and forth in my mind. You know, Berkeley's a little more prestigious, but USC is just the comprehensive sort of program that I want. But I could really go to either school, and they're both spirited, and they both offer me great things. But in the end, like, you're gonna find yourself defending one school, and it's actually the school that you're justifying that you probably should not go to. If you have to keep on bringing reasons that bringing up reasons why you should go there, maybe it's not good. Like if the other school you just know why you should go there, and the other one you have to keep bringing up to say, well maybe this, well maybe that, like put away that school because you probably know that you want to go to the other school in your heart. Keep in mind where you want to be after graduation. Do you want to be working right after graduation? Do you want to go into graduate school? Which school can help you more with that? Just always keep in mind as you're weighing out this really important thing that you are so fortunate to be going on to higher education. Especially as a girl, I was always thinking about this, wow, I'm really tormenting myself over choosing a school, when in reality, there are 70 million girls out there, like up to 12, that don't get to attend school just because they're for fear of getting raped or just for defense, or the men in their life won't let them go to school. So really take this as something that's important, and feel privileged and feel like even though this is really stressful for you right now, like this is something that you're already so gifted to be able to deal with. But yeah, at some point you're going to choose one school over the other. I chose USC, go Trojans, fight on, and you're going to be really, really proud of it, and that is when you'll be totally settled with your decision. And there's still a little bit of me that's like, okay, I'm hearing about UC Berkeley a lot for their great research programs, and people do know their name a little bit more, but like I am so confident that I'm going to have a great time there, and that's really important. Overall, the admissions process is a crapshoot, for lack of a better term. You really cannot foretell how things are going to turn out, and I'm sorry if you spent a lot of time and work on it and it didn't turn out the way you wanted to. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching this entire video, but I wish you all the best of luck with your college process, if you're just getting started, if you're in the middle of it, if you're already done, and I'll see you all in my next video. Cather out!